Hey there, sports fans. Ribbo here for Caravel Gaming. Let's play a bit more Hearthstone, and you know what? Let's play some Arena, because that's all I play. Let's fire it up and see what we're offered here. Ooh, three I actually quite like playing there. Hunter, Rogue and Paladin. Well, we had a 9-0 with Rogue the other day. Had a couple of interesting comments on my Paladin video from people who said that Paladin was basically reliant upon getting a Blessing of Kings and not much else. Hunter's an interesting build. I think you need quite a few Hunt Masters to make it super good, so we're going to stick with Paladin. It's my favourite, and it's all about me after all. Sunwalker is a strange little 6-drop because it's got Divine Shield, but it doesn't have charge or anything like that, so generally a 1-1 tends to remove that. Equality can be a very nice spell, a lot more so than Injured Blade Master, so we take the equality, not necessarily because it's brilliant. I think it's okay, you can certainly use it to your advantage though, but because both of these are just thoroughly average really. Well, obviously the Consecration goes without saying there. And if you've got a Consecration, the Kobold Geomancer goes up a lot in value here. Spiteful Smith's also acceptable because we will get some weapons, and if you do get, say, multiple Spiteful Smiths, if that's your thing, then of course the 1-drop, 1 casting cost weapon goes up in value a bit there. 3 cards, I'm happy having any of them in my deck. We're taking the Spellbreaker because Silence should be picked up quite highly, but hopefully we'll get 1 Venture Company Mercenary at some point. And the Abusive Sergeant's again just a really nice combat trick to turn one of your little 1-1s into a 3-1 and take down something like this 4-3 here. 3 pretty poor picks, to be honest. Not that happy seeing any of them, but in general monsters are better than spells. Stormpike Commandos just doesn't stick around. Obviously, Argent Protector, these guys are nuts. You can set up really good attacks, and basically they're capable of preventing like 5-6 damage. So if you've got a 5-5, you can stick a shield on it and beat up their 5-5. So they're just such a high pick. Hammer of Wrath seems fine here. Obviously the Blessing of Wisdom, I'm a big fan of these cards. You need a couple of 1-drops really in this deck. Holy Wrath is such a weak card, it's a pure randomness. You can only really cast it on anything with 2 health anyway, so it's even though you draw a card, it's just not a very efficient use of your mana at all. Mana Addict is just a 1-3 for 2. You can't rely on always having a spell in your hand, so we just stuck with the 3 for a 3-3 here. Well, the Light's Justice is nice and I would normally take that, but there's a Consecration. Oh, this guy is the actual best card for Paladins, True Silver Champion. Lots of people think it's Blessing of Kings, it's not. It's this one. Well, Core Hound and Holy Light are both terrible cards, so we take the 1-4. Harvest Golem's solid monster here. And obviously the Ooze for dealing with other equipments. Should we say weapons? We need a few 5-drops, but we need a 1-drop as well, so the Voodoo Doctor just gets this over the Dark Scale Healer. Senjin Shield Master looks like being the one. And another true silver champion. So we got plenty of 4-drops. Would have liked this silver hand tonight, but not to be. I quite like Wild Pyromancer. He's very good early game and can certainly keep some guys off the board. However, it's a Paladin deck, so you're more than likely going to be killing all of your own 1/1s. So the Crazed Alchemist has a bunch of techie things he can do. Let's try and pick up some big drops. But Fairy Dragon, so another 2-drop. I think it's got to be Flesh Eating Ghoul. Like, the Twilight Drake's amazing, but we're drafting a pretty cheap deck here, so it's always going to be like 3/3 or something, not that impressive. And we're offered some legendaries. Obviously Tyrion here is just so far ahead of all the others. Having said that, Green Skin is also a pretty solid guy. So it's a little bit tough between the two, to be honest. I think we're just going to edge towards Tyrion, though I'm very tempted with Captain Greenskin. It is ultimately relying upon one of my two true silver champions already being out here. It's really a rogue card more than anything. Sylvanas, very often your opponent just throws all the creatures at it and doesn't have anything for you to steal there. I think you have to take another Argent Protector here. And another Consecration. And yet another Consecration. Oh. Stormwind Champion's too good though. 4th Consecration? Really? I think you do, don't you? I do like that Stormwind Champion. That's good. We're going to go with the Consecration. We'll see how it plays out. It'll be pretty interesting. If you got all these Consecrations, let's get some spell power going. Wow, 3 cheap creatures, none of which I want here. I think this is going to be the standard 2/2 taunt. I'm thinking a turn 5 is probably going to be a 2-drop and a 3-drop here, or turn 4 might turn out to be like a 2-drop and a 1/1. That said, the Farseer can restore 3 health to anything at all. So when you're playing a fast deck, you can just sort of run your 3/2, so your 3/3 into a 2/2 and then heal back up straight afterwards. So yeah, since we got a couple of, well, no, at least one, an injured Blade Master. Two good picks here with the older Peacekeeper and the Imp Master. Because we haven't got much late game in the way of monsters, the older Peacekeeper can turn their first sort of 6/6 into a 1/6. The Imp Master is obviously amazing though. And nice to get a big guy potentially at the end here. Sea Giant obviously fits into this this plan here of cheap monsters. Interesting, we didn't really get many of the 5 and 6 drops that usually show up. You know, I turned down like a second pick Venture Company Mercenary and never saw another one.
I will fight with honor.
Very happy with this for opening hand, really. The Blessing of Wisdom can cycle itself. Let's see if he wants to power out that turn 1 totem.
I feel icky.
Solid enough Leper Gnome, that changes my turn 2 play into just making a 1-1 here.
Reporting for duty.
Basically I want him to turn down the trade so that I can play my ghoul and then attack the Leper Gnome and have like a 4-3 ghoul on turn 3. Yeah, that's alright from him. Does change what I was going to do a little, but I've drawn the Crazed Alchemist, so he's pretty cool.
My new recipe.
To battle!
And now he chooses. And now he chooses to take out my 2-2. I really hope he drew that Wisp. That'd have been pretty funny if he did. So I don't want to drop the ghoul out this turn. The ghoul's there as sort of a surprise. So I get to do some trading and power up the ghoul.
Just me and Mr. Bite.
For justice!
So we're going to just try and keep everything off the board for the moment.
That belongs in a museum.
Howler! Our opponents also happen to get a legendary, and it turns out to be the best legendary in the game for what it does right there. However, he can have a 1-4, I think.
Reporting for duty.
Give me a quest.
The light protects me.
And obviously the taunt totem, just to guarantee I won't be attacking this turn. 1 mana short of being able to do everything I want to do, which kind of sucks a little bit. So maybe just powering out a huge sea giant is the way forward here.
Let me think. Reporting for duty.
And we'll stick the Blessing of Wisdom on his questing adventure and ask him if he really wants to attack with it and give me a card.
Handle it!
And we're going to consecrate all of this away and then maybe hammer the graph as well. Nice little Spellbreaker there, just to guarantee his entire board's going away. He's probably feeling really confident right now. But this is why we draft all the consecrations.
Your magic shall not save you. Job's done.
Thanks for spending all of your cards doing that. So I feel like we turned this game round pretty well.
I'm flying!
Wow. That is a terrible play from him. That's such a terrible play. Totally should have took my goal out. Not quite sure why he didn't.
Not on my watch.
Your turn to bleed!
Someone call for the doctor.
Reporting for duty.
It was never going to end up well for him if he went to my face with that Rocketeer. Now he's just making totems that are going to die and feed my ghouls, so he has to take it out.
It's time for a little blood.
We're going to hold on to the other two cards in our hand.
Your turn to bleed! To battle!
In case he has a board sweeper. There is one for shame that does between 2 and 3 damage to each monster on the board, so there's no point running all my guys into that and just to be left with a 4/4 that's had 3 damage down to it. And that's not going to help him. It's a nice card, yeah, it's just not going to help him.
Your turn to bleed! To battle! To battle! Reporting for duty. I'm not ready!
It's got to be a good card, I'm not going to lie to you. It needs to be really, really good.
Squire, attend me!
And that's not
Ready,
really,
sir.
really good. You're dead on board.
Crush! No, smash! Your
I love it when they don't realise they're dead.
To battle! To
You watch
battle!
him concede now.
To battle!
No, you're gonna let me kill you? Oh, okay then. So, looked a bit ropey that first game, but we pulled it through due to the fact that we drafted 4 consecrations. He probably thought we were really lucky with that consecration then. Not realising we've got 4. No Blessing of Kings. So, to that person who said This deck's reliant on Blessing of Kings. We shall see.
Luther versus.
You asked for it.
I will fight with honor.
I'm going to lob this equality away because Jaina generally doesn't do much of that. And we don't need a consecration either. We're going to draw another one. We've got 4 of them. Sure enough, the very next card drawn is a consecration. I think just trying to ride this fairy dragon all the way. Because mages do find it awkward. And sometimes they don't keep 2 drops, they just assume they can burn whatever I play. You might have a 2-drop that they really don't want me to kill. So like a pint size. You can't target it! You can't target it! So we could take out the 2/2 and keep my guy by playing the older Peacekeeper next turn. I kinda like just attacking it, to be honest. It's got spell power. That's brutal on a mage. So I feel that's a pretty solid enough trade there. That's right, you burn it. You waste your entire turn doing 1 damage to that. What are you gonna do? You got 1 mana, you got arcane missiles. I think he's reading the card. I mean, you've just played your own, surely you must know what it does. I could play the Peacekeeper, but let's play the Patriarch. Because we can put Blessing of Wisdom on the Patriarch, and because he's got a fat ass, Jaina shouldn't be able to kill it instantly. Jaina might well waste this turn doing exactly that. Look at that, it's just terrible. We're not going to put it on this turn because we have a 3/5. The reason is that Polymorph is 4 casting cost, so we're going to wait to see whether she plays a Polymorph on my 3/5, which is certainly good enough to warrant it. 2 mana on a secret, so this could well be the destroy an attacking creature. Oh, Sparry, okay. Well, I'm cool with that. Now we'll stick the Blessing of Wisdom on it. It'll replace itself. And you know what?
Not on my
Give it a bit of protection.
Reporting for duty.
Because if you've got an Ice Lance or something for doing 3 damage to it, and then, you know, finishing it off with a Fireball. There's the Polymorph. For some reason he waited a turn.
Ready for action!
Maybe he top decked it there, actually.
This is my responsibility.
To battle!
Now if it's got a Flame Strike, it's probably a good time for her to play it this turn.
Reporting for duty.
But the Argent Protector can certainly keep something alive there.
Not on
Let's
my
keep my
watch.
monkey alive. And the turn after we can play the Magi, play the Farseer, heal back up the monkey. Well, you think if you had a Flame Strike you would have played it by now? Hmm? I mean, 'cause it's not a difficult decision, is it, to play a Flame Strike?
This is my
So we're
responsibility.
just going to ignore the 3-6.
The battle! The battle! Reporting for duty.
Flame Strike now? That's a terrible card. Why are you playing it? Probably drafted like 4 Pyroblasts. Didn't even attack! I mean, that's how good of a player this person is.
Last warning.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. $18 and double concentration.
This
So
is
if
my
Jaina
responsibility.
thinks he can race me, which is the reason he didn't attack any of my creatures.
The battle! The battle!
That said, we can
That minion already
The
attacked.
battle!
we can just get ourselves back over that 20 life.
Eyes are open.
In case he's going for the triple Pyroblast. Looks like indeed that was the strategy, but unfortunately lost because of it. It's like you got a 1-5, why are you not attacking with your 1-5?
This is my responsibility.
The battle! The battle!
Not quite sure what this person was thinking, really, to be honest. But I'll take the win. Never. I've made this point in a few videos, a few forum comments as well. I really don't like Mage, especially when they take all these really expensive spells like Pyroblast, and just think they can win because of it. You just don't have that many turns. Especially if you don't have any flame strikes. I mean, you need like 3 flame strikes and lots of freeze effects. The whole idea is that around sort of turn 4 or something, turn 5, you freeze all their guys, and they'll play another couple of guys out, and you freeze them all again, and then you flame strike on turn 7 to get everything off.
Uther versus
For Doomhammer!
But I just think it's
I will
a general
fight
poor
with
strategy.
honor.
I don't like any of these guys, to be honest. Looks a lot better now. See if he drops a 2-1 on turn 1 on me. I can turn it into a 1-2. We have to play it out, unfortunately, to be able to kill the totem the shaman plays on the next turn. Though that said, I could have held it into my hand and turned his 0-2 totem into a 2-0. Well, this is looking solid enough now.
not on my watch.
And a blessing of wisdom for the treasure.
Don't rush me.
We're going to keep this ooze in our hand the whole game and never play it until he makes a weapon. Because some of the shaman weapons in the game are just ridiculous, like Doom Hammer. It's got Wind Fury and 8 durability on it. And this one as well, Stormforged Axe. It's like you can take out, you know, 3 of your guys. So obviously you can never allow a card like that to stick. Just switch around the tempo.
It's time for a little blood.
Super fast.
Reporting for
This
duty.
is my responsibility.
seemed really bad. He should have took out my 2-2 there. That was very, very poor play. He still would have enraged. He would have had a 5-1. But it would have meant that then my 3-2 would have had to attack the totem, and my 1-1 couldn't have took, you know, if he'd done something like that. It just seems a much better thing to actually have one less power on the board.
This is my responsibility.
I think more efficient use of my mana here. I'm quite happy taking 5 points of damage off that guy. I really don't care about it. I just want to get a few more creatures out, get this sea giant out next turn, and basically play a paladin, a little 1-1 dude every single turn. That's fine, you do 5 to the face. Pretty irrelevant at this point of the game. But I want him to be wasting spells in his hand. Let's play my other creatures out before I play that. Seems the smartest thing to do. I think this guy is probably the one to do here.
Tadingo! Yes! To battle!
This is my responsibility.
Job done.
And the reason we attack his monsters is because we want this guy to survive a turn. Hex, shock horror. Wow, didn't take out the 4-1. Seems... Okay, sorry, yeah, taunt of course. Silly me. Sometimes I forget how good some of these cards are. He needs to do something, and fast. Obviously I'm not going to consecrate a pair of 1-1s out the way. Oh. The longer people take to decide what to do, the more you kind of realise that you're not happy with any of the decisions. Now we could silence this 0-2 and then beat him up. However, consecration also does damage to him, so and we could just go to the face here. We don't bother about the 4-1.
Oh, smash! Man! Reporting for duty.
And look at him, he's got 7 cards in his hand. He's just another one of these players who just drafts really expensive spells and wonders why he's dying all the time with all these fabulous cards he's got in his hand. But I've got 8 8s and 9 9s. How can he be killing me? He was after the Spellfire Totem there. I absolutely guarantee it. He's now going to do his little lightning thing. Still does nothing. What are you doing? You realise you're dead. You're on 4 life. You've got to take out my 2 guys with taunt and then my 3 other guys.
Feel the power of the wind.
Why would you do that? What?
Well played.
Yes. Why don't they just concede? It's like, oh, yes, I've lost. They're so proud of their abilities though. It's like, look at these spells in my hand, they're awesome. Yes, they would have been awesome 7 turns ago when they would have done something. Instead of when you're on 4 life. Because you insisted on playing totems and nothing else. So that was a whole tempo issue he had there. He was just making... He wanted to play his spells, but he also wanted to play a totem every turn. Now, lots of people say that they really struggle against rogues.
I will fight with honor.
So, I'm pretty happy with this, because we can just put, like, Blessing of Wisdom on their monster. That kind of stops them from attacking with it. Unless they want to give me lots and lots of cards. And obviously, the Consecration and the Champion for dealing with the small creatures and the big creatures appropriately. No reason to do anything turn 1, as my opponent has. Fantastic.
I will be your death.
You power that weapon up. So I think the plan here is actually to get this 3-3 out. The reason is it can't be backstabbed.
Job's done.
So he has to waste an entire turn sort of powering up his weapon. Sorry, well, attacking it and backstabbing. See, there you go, there's 2 mana. Terrible use of his turn. Now that his weapon's down, I can make a 2-2. This rogue player is just not doing much at all to me. If he makes a 4-4, we use the True Silver Champion. Yeah, I'll definitely use the True Silver Champion here. Get it out of the way.
For justice.
We've got the tempo now. Next monster he plays, unless it's an ooze, dies to the True Silver Champion as well. If he plays a small guy out, hoping to bait me using the True Silver Champion again, we'll just Hammer of Wrath it away if it's got 3, or if it's only got 2 health. We can stick an Argent Protector on this.
I will be your death.
So we'll put the Blessing of Wisdom on now, because that forces his 5-2 to attack it. And obviously we're not doing 4 to the face, that would be an absolute waste there. This is very slow rogue draft. I'm not sure they quite understand how to play, well, how to draft the class.
Enter the shadows. I will be your
That's
death.
fine. You're doing me 5 damage.
For justice.
We could consecrate here, but again, I just don't see a reason to do that. Just surely you just take the 5 here.
Not on my watch.
That was probably the +4 power, and he suddenly realised it's part of a combo. Only does +2 power, so he has to play another spell first. Oh, okay, kind of nice. Very slow deck here.
This is our town, scrub.
That's what we're waiting for.
Beat it.
I will be your death.
That's right, you keep doing those.
May my ancestors watch over you.
Engaging TC-130, mental dislocator.
Thanks for playing that. I appreciate you not taking one of my guys with
We
it.
must cleanse the Sunwell.
I will be your death.
For justice! Not on my watch.
So we're going to take the 3/3 out.
Reporting for duty.
Deliberately holding this Spellbreaker in my hand all game for something that actually we need to silence. Wow, well played. You go ahead and sap and play your charger afterwards.
I will be your
What's
death.
this person doing? Why would you sap a Tauren Warrior back to hand just to kill a 2/2 with no ability? What?
May my ancestors watch over you.
Reporting for duty.
Nope. Forgot to attack for 1. I was so happy at how badly my opponent was playing there. I forgot that minions are allowed to attack the other person. That's right, you go ahead and silence that. There's literally
I will be
nothing.
Your death.
To battle! To battle!
Bring
Could
it
have could have swapped the health and power over.
Reporting for duty.
I'll do that next turn though. When we've got the kill on the board. Next turn.
Just me,
And
Mr.
he's
Biden.
You love my new recipe.
For justice!
I'm gonna hit the concede button before I kill you. No. That was a really terrible rogue draft that person had done there. No speed to it at all, which is what you really need. As you saw with my 9-0 rogue build on a previous video, lots of sort of 1-drops and 2-drops and just really packing them in there. So 4-0 and not being tested too much apart from that shaman. Gave me a little bit of a scare early on there. We're gonna going first, throw 2 of them back. Keep hold of the harvest golem. Ooh dear. Well, I mean, True Civil Champion is obviously amazing. There we go. Looking a lot better now. I'm happy at this point. And of course now we get the 1-drop. Now, this guy, this 2-2, always draws a spell. Like, if they've got a claw or something, they'll use it just to get it off the board straight away. And they don't really realise that paladins don't really use spells like other classes use spells, you know. You don't really care that much that our stuff does 1 extra damage. Like, the cards that do matter, like Consecration, you know, you're casting on like turn 8 or something. So we're playing the Harvest Golem out, and next turn will be the Voodoo Doctor and the Ghoul together. If he uses his coin to power out like a 4-5 or something, and obviously, like I said, obviously we'll just drop the weapon out.
For justice!
Extreme prejudice must always be used on demolishers. If a demolisher ever sticks for more than 2 turns, the game's over, as they just blow up your entire board. So now we've set up the perfect little situation here for this ghoul to eat up a little bit. That's fine. Get a replacement. Keep hold of the tempo. Druids don't have weapons, so we're actually going to take the 1-1 out because he could give his guy +2/+2 next turn and use it to take out my ghoul, which I wanted to do. He can still obviously claw and use his druid ability to do it, or play another wrath or something like that, but it just makes my ghoul even more of a threat and gives him sort of 1 less out to be able to deal with it. And if he plays out like some monsters with taunt, we can play the second True Silver Champion, kill it, and hit him for 9. What are you going to do with 6 mana? Wow! He was desperate to get rid of that, wasn't he? Now I could have played the Patriarch, but
Reporting for duty.
there's no point. We're making 1 power either way, and because we're ahead, it's better just to be a little 1/1 recruit. You know, get the use out of your hero ability. Harvest Golem's pretty nice. We're going to take that out with the champion. Beat him up for 7 with our 2 creatures. And then use the 1/1 soldier to take out the 2/1 that... Oh, no we're not. He's just killed it. But it still doesn't really change anything here. We can just... we could go 7 to the face, but... Well, I mean, we are going 7 to the face, I mean 11 to the face here.
For justice!
Taking this out, really. Use our 1-4 to block that 2-1 from attacking. See whether he's got a silence to be able to take out my 4-2 this turn. Sea Giant's pretty cool. I'm not sure it's going to save him by itself. Well, you have to attack my 1-4, unfortunately, unless you want to hold back.
I wonder. Tadingo! Yes!
We don't heal up the Patriarch because he can't take the Patriarch out with his shape-shifted form anyway because he's got 2 health.
My eyes are open.
However, we have to now.
Someone call for the doctor.
Because there's nothing else to heal. And we hold back on attacking with the champion.
That minion already attacked.
And again, you know, he's got, at this point, 6 cards in his hand. So, again, people have just been drafting too slow a deck. So he's still dead to 10 power of creatures from me here. And if he just puts one guy with Taunt down, I just take it out with my true silver champion. So he has to do an awful lot this turn not to die.
For Najata.
That's no good, you're still dying. I have 17 power that's attacking you. Okay, so...
Time waits for no one.
Yeah, you're dead, okay.
Well played.
For justice!
Well played, why didn't you just concede? Look at it, so he died with 5 cards in his hand and he never really got to use the healer either. So, you know, he's just got all 5 drops and 6 drops. I mean, look at all my amazing spells! You can only do something like that if you have multiple board sweepers. And he didn't. So, 5-0. Really, most of these wins come not because my deck is amazing. Well, I mean, the 4 Consecrations is nice, but they haven't really been that relevant, only against the Shaman. But more because our opponents are just misbuilding. Like, a lot of people think this game is Magic the Gathering, and therefore it's all about card advantage. But if you're dying with 5 cards in your hand, then that's just so clearly a problem. Because it doesn't matter if you've got all this card advantage if you don't get to play the cards. You still actually have to cast the cards. You have to put them onto the table for that card to have worth. So I think that's going to be my sort of little theme running throughout all these videos. And this will apply to me as well for games I lose. It's like if I still have like 4 cards in my hand when I lose, then again that's a problem. Pint-sized summoner? No?
It's
Okay,
time for a little
just
blood.
a 2/3 berserker. Kinda don't want to play this 1/1, but not sure I have a choice because he can use a fireball on his own berserker, so I'd rather not take the damage.
Reporting for duty.
Yeah, so he can basically fireball his own berserker, make it like a 5/2 and then attack.
I hope you like my invention.
So hopefully this 1/4 fat ass will hold him off for another turn. All we're trying to do is just prevent damage here. And draw into one of our multiple consecrations. Okay.
Ready
You
for
go ahead
action.
and silence that bad boy.
My magic will tear you apart.
Yeah, your magic will tear me apart. Well, unfortunately for you, I've got a consecration.
Well played.
I think they forget paladins have consecrates.
Tazdingo!
I think dropping my own 4/3 out here is okay. Not sure whether I want to use the silence on that. Jungle Panther does the same thing.
Reporting for duty.
So we'll get his guy down to 4 toughness, which is all important for the Panther.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
That's right, you hit me for 4, if it makes you feel good.
Not on my watch.
Harvest Golem was a choice here because, you know, if it if you sort of kill it with the board sweeper, it replaces itself. I'm still on plenty of life, 20, so I don't need to play the Farseer to put me back up to 23. I'd much rather use the Farseer with the Blade Master just to have a 3/6 at this point. Really struggling over this turn, you can tell. Oh, well, that wasn't hard to do, was it? That was an easy decision, to be honest. Not quite sure why that took you so long to decide. Mages don't have weapons, so the use is fine to throw out here. There's the flame strike.
Medic!
My eyes are open.
Reporting for duty.
Well played.
There's kind of no point doing 2 damage to the 4/3 because you can flame out the way the 1/1 next turn anyway. So, you know, this 4/3 is basically trading with like my 3/3 or my 3/6. So basically, if you attack the 2/1, the fireball takes out my 1/1, forcing me to take out the 3/3 or the 4 with the 4/3 anyway. So therefore, this 2/1 has done 2 less damage. At least if I attack the person, they can't fireball both of these, so I get to keep an extra guy. It's also important if I want to play a ghoul and make it sort of pretty big by doing a bit of trading off and stuff. It's probably got Taunt, this card. Wouldn't surprise me. Probably thinks he can protect his 4/3 for another turn with it.
Time runs out on me.
You love my new recipe.
Okay. You go ahead and do that.
Whoops.
Now, I believe I could silence this, and it would be a 3/6 again.
Your magic shall not
I'm
save.
sorry.
Yep.
Your turn to bleed!
Well
No, didn't play my ghoul out, so ghoul can wait till next turn.
May my ancestors watch over. Reporting for duty. To battle!
I love the fact that they do all these dumb comments like whoops, and you're like, well, you go, girl. Really? Oh, please, please shoot my 2/3. Please enrage it. You gotta have another spell in your hand if you're gonna enrage that. You absolutely have to. Or you're just gonna attack it with your 2/2. Really, really want to. Silence? Wow.
Whoops.
And he didn't have the mana to fireball
I'm
afterwards.
sorry.
That was smart, wasn't it?
Die, mage.
Well played.
To battle!
Whoops.
So stick the Blessing of Wisdom on the 3/3.
Your turn to bleed! To battle!
And obviously not playing the weapon this
Reporting
turn.
for duty.
So basically now it has to deal with the ghoul. It has to deal with the 3/3 as well.
My magic will tear you apart.
Yeah, like Polymorph literally does nothing. It's a 1-for-1 trade. It's not a particularly good
To
card.
battle!
Like, it hasn't turned the game around at all.
Reporting for duty.
You know, people love polymorph, but I think he played like 3 or 4 already. That's way too many.
Here comes the pain.
Well, that's lucky, isn't it? Give him a 7-2 and take it out. Seems absolutely fine.
You love my new recipe.
The battle!
Well played.
Reporting for duty.
I also could have just attacked it with my weapon and then attacked with the 3-2 afterwards, but I really like my 3-2. Yep, so these guys are dying.
Well
For
played.
justice!
I want to keep this fairy dragon alive because it can't be targeted.
Well played.
And scoop them up. Pyroblast, really? That would be insane. Needs 10 mana for that one.
You win.
Yes, I do win this one. I love the way they just shoot you. I will shoot you, and then I'll play my 1-3, and then I will concede. It's like, ha 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 ha. No rebounds. What you used to say in school when you were 8 years old, you used to punch a kid on the shoulder. Bang! Like that. No rebounds. Can't punch me back. And you used to run off. So this is basically the gaming equivalent right here. Getting that last point of damage in and then conceding. Can't get me back! I concede! And I think like 50% of the people I beat do it. You'll get that last attack in and then concede. Lucky, I'm pretty certain Pyroblast is 10 mana. So he couldn't have done anything else when he was at 11. I was at 11 life there, and he had his 10 mana.